Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
This episode is brought to you by Love Hurts. Kiwi Kwan has had quite a career, from childhood roles in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and The Goonies to a recent Academy Award win for Everything Everywhere All at Once. But now Ki finally stars as a leading man in the film Love Hurts. Love Hurts is the perfect date night movie with its mix of over-the-top action, comedy, and a ton of heart. Love Hurts, only at theaters February 7th.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
ZPG Ice Maidens.
Hello and welcome to ZPG Ice Maidens, the only dedicated Women's National Ice Hockey League podcast.
Part of the ZPG network of UK ice hockey podcasts.
We're in partnership with the Hockey Arca, hockey clothing for hockey people, worn by the best
and hated by the rest.
Listen to the ZPG network.
Get a 10% discount on everything
at hockeyartclothing.co.uk.
Just enter the code ZP10 on checkout to get your discount.
We're also part of the Sports Social Podcast Network,
the biggest sports podcast network in Europe,
boasting over 450 podcasts
for more than 15 different sports.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of ZPG Ice Maidens. We're starting this week with a little bit of news before moving on to the main match reports. But the news item which is perhaps the top billing is that in something of a surprise move, the Kingston Diamonds' Lydia Lutwich has signed for Elite League rivals Solihull Vixens. However, the Manchester-born forward looks to still be playing for the Diamonds Division 1 side. Lydia, who is one of the most exciting young players in the country, was part of the gold medal winning GB Under-18 side, who clinched promotion in Riga, Latvia last month. The Vixens, who are currently unbeaten at the top of the Elite League table, had a strong team already, but adding Lydia's goal-scoring touch has made a strong team even stronger. The Asian Winter Games are currently taking place in Harbin, China right now, with Hong Kong, Kazakhstan, South Korea, Thailand and Taiwan amongst the sides taking part in the ice hockey section of the tournament. There is some WNIHL representation with Queen Bee's pair Yukting Lau and Estelle Ip representing Hong Kong, while Caledonia's Cynthia Singlin Tao is icing for Taiwan. Best of luck for all involved. We start our match report roundups in Division 1, and in the north there was another great performance from the Kingston Diamonds away to Sheffield Shadows, which saw them come away with a comprehensive 7-1 win, which keeps them sat at the top of the table. Ruby Newlands scored 80 seconds in from Jazz Little, with Lydia Lutwich adding a second from Mia Forbes and Millie Fulbourn with 26 seconds left in the opening period. Sheffield pulled a goal back with less than 8 minutes played of the middle session when two of their younger players combined to great effect. Eva Solossi netted thanks to Charlie Farr's assistance, but the Diamonds quickly responded and had a 3-goal advantage after scoring twice in 44 seconds soon after. Izzy Oswin getting the first from Lutwich before Kiana Tate scored from Newlands and Forbes. Kingston would add 2 more inside the final 5 minutes of the period. Newlands grabbed her second of the game from Forbes and Grace Cooper before Kets Robinson found the net from Forbes with 30 seconds of the session remaining. Millie Fulbourn converted on a power play inside the first 3 minutes of the final period against her old team to complete the scoring. Newlands and Cooper bagging the assists. Diamond's player of the game went to Lois Tomlinson, with Kelly Walsh taking home the award for the Shadows. We move on now to the south, where Chelmsford Cobras took to the ice last weekend against the visiting Swindon Top Cats for their third matchup this season. With both teams at one win each from the previous two matchups, a close battle was expected. Chelmsford took to the ice strong and confident in the early exchanges, gaining possession and working their way up the ice for chances around the net. The Cobras' defence held strong against the Top Cats, who were equally as keen to start off the scoring as well. The majority of the first period saw end-to-end action, with neither team able to quite break through. That was until the final minute of the session, when the Top Cats managed to find a way past Kira Waddington, with 18 seconds left. Emma Comer netted thanks to Lily Endicott's assistance. Chelmsford started the second period with determination to equalise, and they were rewarded with a goal in the opening couple of minutes to bring the score back to 1-1. Teresa Plankova scoring from Katie Dadd. With the scores level, Cobras continued with their offensive pressure throughout the period, outshooting the Top Cats, and they took the lead midway through the session. Plankova converted on the power play from Dadd once again. Despite holding the lead, Chelmsford continued to defend against ongoing pressure from the Top Cats, but held on to have a one-goal advantage going into the final session. Going into the third then, the Top Cats really increased the pressure to try and bring the game back in their favour, and it paid off at 46-24 when Joy Scott Russell fired in the equaliser and brought the game back to a 2-2 scoreline. Both teams continued to attack with end-to-end action, but the game ended all square and each team leaving with a point. Chelmsford's player of the game went to goalie Kira Waddington, with Swindon's award going to the excellent Joy Scott Russell. Having lost to the same side 3 weeks earlier, Cardiff Comets hit back with a much-needed win away to Milton Keynes Falcons. Erin Roach scored 3 minutes into the contest from Liv Taylor, but Bryony Russell tied things up from Katie Anderton's assist inside the final 5 minutes of the opening session. Cardiff retook the lead at 32-25 when Maddie Davis scored from Roach to make it 2-1. But once again the Falcons hit back, Michelle Lyle scoring 4 minutes later from Ninni Taskanen to make it 2-2 and all to play for in the final period. But the Welsh side were not to be denied and took the lead for a third time, Amy Cannon firing home what proved to be the winning goal with less than 7 minutes remaining. The Canadian-born forward added a second 4 minutes later from Ella Lawrence before Ophelia Chesterman netted with a minute to go. Falcons' player of the game went to Erin Russell. The result leaves the team separated by just a single point, but Cardiff, although bottom of the standings, have 3 games in hand on the Falcons. MK hold the series lead 2-1, with the pair set to meet once more in the Welsh capital at the end of next month. The game between Bristol and the Firebees was postponed. The Whitley Bay Beacons made their first competitive visit to the border ice rink at Kelso last Saturday and made it a double cause for celebration, with both their under-16 side and their Division 2 team securing much-needed wins. Their Division 2 side secured a first win since October and ended a 3-game losing streak when seeing off a difficult Steel Queen B side 7-3. Although Whitley were missing some key players to their lineup, they soon edged ahead inside the opening couple of minutes, thanks to Isabel Johnson, who fired home from Sally Hinton. But after laying siege to the Caledonian net, they were left frustrated, as Peyton Carnason made 14 saves to repel what was a potent Beacons attack. However, they did manage to double their advantage with just over a minute remaining in the period when Tanya Royce scored from Cat Eastwood. Another 14 saves from Carnason in the middle session kept her side in the game, but she was powerless to stop Iona Harrison from firing home a trademark snipe from Lindsay Zerbin-Young 2 minutes after the restart. Caledonia have improved massively since their debut game in October and were far from out of the contest, Isa Kenzabekova capitalising on a defensive lapse to make it a 2-goal game, with Zoe Galloway collecting an assist. The Beacons responded within a minute, though, and had their 3-goal cushion back when Islay North End fired home from Harrison. just over a minute later, and it was 5-1, Tanya Royce grabbing her second goal of the game from Jade Wheeler. But Whitley then hit penalty trouble, with Kenza Bekova wasting little time in converting on the power play. Whitley managed to score again before the period was over, with Brooke Royce producing an even better finish than the one she delivered in the earlier game, converting Kat Eastwood's inch-perfect pass with yet another well-taken finish. Caledonia got another power play goal early into the third period, when Emily Campbell scored from Jordan Troop. Zoe Galloway was ejected from the game after a slash to the head of Emily Duffy. That gave the Beacons a 5-minute power play, with the final word going to Iona Harrison, who scored with an emphatic finish which rifled into the net to complete a 7-3 victory. Ruth Palmer made 21 saves in the Beacons' goal, while Sally Hinton was a constant offensive threat throughout. Defensively, Rosie McCartney stood out for Caledonia, while Morena Festerazzi brought a lot of energy going forward. The battle between former Beacons defender Jordan Troop and Iona Harrison was another entertaining side plot, with two competitive players giving their all for their respective sides. Peyton Carnason received the Queen's Jester Award after making her senior hockey debut in net and played 105 minutes during the day. After the game, I spoke with Caledonia forward Lynn Sinclair. Welcome to Ice Maidens. Today I'm catching up with Steel Queens forward Lynn Sinclair. So first of all, Lynn, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
So a narrow win in the end for the Beacons, really. What was your take on the game?
I think we did a lot. I think we've got more that we can give in future. I think we're still learning as a team. This is our first season with this new group in Div 2. We've made some fantastic progress. I think we still have a lot more to give, and I think we're going to see that later on in the season for definite.
Yeah, certainly if you look at the results from the start of the season, there's been a marked improvement game after game. So is it just a case of everyone now is getting used to playing alongside one another and using the new facility as well? Exactly,
yeah. We're new to playing in this rink. We're new. We've got a bunch of new girls that have come in and joined us. All sorts of ages, all sorts of abilities. We're really starting to gel as a team now. It's really coming together.
Yeah, and power play today worked quite well. Got 2 goals from that, so you must be pleased with that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like I say, we just need to make that the standard, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, and obviously you played for the Queens in this division last season, so a different team really, isn't it? This one's a lot more about development, you'd say.
It is, absolutely, yeah. We've got different goals this season, which are very achievable. I think we're going to get there. We're not looking for a promotion right now, but in the future, I think we absolutely could. I think our Div 1 team can make it to Elite, and I think our Div 2 team can make it to Div 1 for definite.
Yeah, a lot of talent within both teams. These two sides meet again next week in Whitley Bay. So what's your thoughts ahead of that one?
I think we're looking forward to playing on a full-size rink. That's where we train. We do a lot of small area stuff, but we are looking forward to playing on a big rink again. Away trips, especially, it's not even that far for us really. Yeah. So we're looking forward. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a really good carpool. I think it'll be a good bonding experience for everyone. Some of the girls haven't been on a proper away game yet, so I think it's something that we are looking forward to, definitely.
Well, that's great to hear, and best of luck, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you very much.
The return leg of the North Cup game between Leeds Roses and Kingston Diamonds saw the West Yorkshire side come out on top once again, despite Kingston's stellar efforts to put up a challenge. The Cup games have been an excellent opportunity for some of the Leeds juniors and B-team players to step up and show what they're made of. The visitors took the lead in Hull just 49 seconds in, thanks to CJ Harrison, who scored from Emma Allender. The latter then doubled the advantage at 4:07, with Jazz Daniels scoring before the 6-minute mark. Jess Holgate then made it 4-0 from Sophie Lancashire, before Daniel grabbed her second from Holgate and Allender 31 seconds later. Leeds added 3 more to their tally before the end of the first period to make it 8-0. Tori Johnson netted from Allender before Harrison scored twice in 31 seconds to claim her hat-trick. Nadia Molender getting an assist on the first of those 2 strikes. Kingston changed goalies during the intermission after facing an onslaught of 24 shots on their net in the opening 20 minutes. But the change of goalie couldn't stem the Roses' flow. Allender scored from Harrison inside the first 5 minutes of the second period, before Daniel converted a Holgate assist and then set up Allender for the visitors to hold an 11-0 lead going into the third. Sarah Rowland scored from Harrison to begin the scoring in the final period. Daniel grabbed her fourth goal from Johnson before Harrison also bagged her fourth of the game, and Kim Sharples completed the scoring for 15-0. Player of the game was awarded to Kim Sharples for her excellent defensive play and her goal to round off the game. Players' player went to Emma Allender, who worked solidly throughout and also racked up 3 goals and 6 assists. Hardest worker went to Sian Simpson for her perseverance and hard work ethic. Rose's goalie, Ella May Hobley-Flitcroft, came away with a shutout. In the other cup group, the Sheffield Shadows made it 2 wins from 2 against the Widnes Wild this season, but they had to come from behind and didn't retake the lead until the final 10 minutes of the game. Widnes took the lead inside the opening 3 minutes when Rachel Pearce scored from Linda Decker, but Phoebe Gregg ensured the sides would be level going into the second period when she scored from Leah Cheetham with a little over a minute remaining in the opening session. The pair combined again early into the middle period, with Cheetham this time scoring from Gregg at 23-21. The score remained that way until late in the game, De Decker equalising for Widnes with 8 minutes played in the final period. But Gregg and Cheetham combined for a third time to put the Shadows back ahead a couple of minutes later. Amber Usher also collecting an assist on the play. Moments later, the Shadows gave themselves a more comfortable cushion, with Robin Wilson-Barrett netting twice in just 20 seconds. Her first was assisted by Abby Rowbotham, who secured her first point since returning to the sport following 18 months away. Very well done, Abby, and it's great to see you back playing again. You are far too good a talent not to be out on the ice. Jess Hughes collected an assist on the second of those 2 goals. Widnes grabbed a goal back at 53-22 to make it a 2-goal game once again, but less than a minute later, Shadows went 6-3 ahead. Alicia Williams scoring from Rowan at Bilby. Athene Idiabor-Moses completed the scoring with less than 4 minutes remaining when she put home from Wilson-Barrett's second assist of the game. Shadows' player of the game went to Izzy Cottam, with Sophie Hill taking home the award for Widnes. Steph Drinkwater was outstanding in the Widnes goal once again, making 43 saves. In Division 2 South, the Slough Sirens played a strong and physical game away to Oxford Midnight Stars and worked themselves into a 2-0 lead heading into the third period. Sharon Khan gave them the lead at 8:28 from Emma Toos before Perry Edmiston converted on the power play from Esther Haskins 4 minutes after a restart. Sirens then added a third early into the final session when Robin Alder scored from Khan, but 4 minutes later Oxford grabbed a goal back. Charlie Clements, so often the Midnight's hero, netted from Jodie West Attrell. Oxford would make it a 1-goal game with 92 seconds left to play when Clements set up Lauren Summers to make it 3-2. At that time, the home side pulled goalie Stephanie Taylor for the extra attacker in an attempt to tie the game up, but Bob Alder scored on the empty net to secure the 4-2 win. Mallory Davis collecting the assist. Alder was named Sirens Player of the Game, with the spirit of the game going to Megan Beagle. Goalie Helen Oates was named Star of the Game. The Chelmsford Pythons returned to home ice last weekend when they hosted the Lee Valley Vampires. It was the second meeting between the sides this season, with the first game ending in a 1-1 draw. The Pythons started strong, pressing Lee Valley and keeping the play mainly in the offensive zone. The pressure paid off at 7:48, with the first goal of the evening coming from Lily Bryant. The Pythons maintained possession and created several opportunities, scoring twice more. Katie Smith scoring from Macy Allen before she turned provider in assisting Summer Basing. With a 3-goal lead after less than 13 minutes, Chelmsford seemed to let Lee Valley back into the game, the Vampires getting a goal back inside the final 5 minutes of the opening period. Captain Hannah Watson finding a net from Jade Smiles to end the period 3-1 in the home side's favour. A penalty-strewn middle period affected the flow of the game. However, the Pythons soon got back to business, scoring short-handed from Smith at 30-22. Zinnia Quilter then netted 38 seconds later before Freya Price added another before the period was over to make it 6-1. The Pythons found a new gear at the start of the third period, helped with the Vampires now running into penalty trouble. Price converting on one particular power play to get the scoring started for the final session. It was a spectacular strike too, as Freya's shot knocked Vampires goalie Abby Owen's water bottle from the top of the net. 90 seconds later, Pythons captain Ildi Sumeg-Howard scored from Kezia Birchall for an 8-1 lead. Relentless in their mission, the Pythons kept digging, and at 49:59, Kiara Thomas-Lambert scored from Sue Morena to close out the game at 9-1. Pythons player of the game went to Summer Basing. Haringey Greyhounds moved another step closer to promotion with an impressive 7-3 victory against Invicta Dynamics in Gillingham. The league leaders raced into a 3-goal lead before the 12-minute mark to firmly take control of the game. Jade Jones opened the score in 96 seconds in when she scored from a Hannah Dolan-Davis assist. They doubled their advantage 2 minutes later when Jenna Johnson scored from Noah Dalio, before Tegan Walsh made it 3-0 from another Dolan-Davis assist. But Invicta shocked the visitors when they scored twice in 15 seconds to bring themselves right back into the contest. Chelsea Meany cut the arrears from Charlotte Louise Davenport-Jeffrey's assist before the pair combined again moments later. This time it was Davenport-Jeffrey who converted on the power play, with Meany collecting the assist. Haringey would restore their 2-goal lead early into the second period though. Jay Jones found the net from Jasmine Jones at 22:32 before Tegan Walsh made it 5-2 when she scored from Annie Mackman and Clementine Chandler 3 minutes later. The Greyhounds made the game safe early into the third period when Miri Pomeranz gave her side a 4-goal lead. Invicta did get another goal back inside the final 8 minutes, Davenport-Jeffrey grabbing her second of the game from Robin Mapp, with the former having had a hand in all 3 of her side's goals. Kirsty Bard completed the scoring with a little over 3 minutes remaining when she put home a Jenna Johnson assist for 7-3. The Whitley Bay Beacons under-16s made it 8 wins from 8 with just 4 regular season games to go, when clinching a 6-1 win over Caledonia Iron Maidens. Once again, Evie Tyndale was excellent as she orchestrated the Beacons' offensive threat. The leading scorer put her side ahead inside the opening 30 seconds from Heidi Dunn's assist. But the home side made life difficult for the league leaders thereafter and even drew themselves back level midway through the opening period when Drew Henderson scored from Molly McGillian and Evie Fraser. The Beacons found their scoring touch in the middle session though, and once Tyndale grabbed her second of the game from Dunn inside the first 3 minutes, they never looked back. The exciting forward, who now plays Elite League hockey for the senior team, completed a hat-trick 3 minutes later, before some excellent build-up play from Emily Duffy saw Brooke Royce find the net with a composed finish seconds later. Tyndale added a 4th goal before the period was over to edge ever closer to the 40-point mark for the season, before Duffy scored inside the final 5 minutes to make it 6-1. Heidi Dunn, who formed a dominant presence on the Beacons' blue line alongside Holly Smith, collecting her 3rd assist of the game. In what was a difficult venue for goalies, Sophie Ankers came up big with 11 saves, including a 9-save shutout in the middle session when the home side really applied the pressure. A performance which also earned her Whitley's Player of the Game award. Evie Leslie was another standout performer for Whitley, which saw her named hardest worker. Caledonia's goalie, Peyton Carnason, was equally impressive as she dealt with the league's top offence. There was also standout performances for the Iron Maidens' defensive duo of Violet Mayer and Megan MacArthur, the latter facing her former side for the first time and coming away with a Player of the Game award, while Elise Blakely, Remy Dowsett and Evie McCallum impressed too, as the side, making their under-16s league debut this season, continues to improve with their performances with every game played. Zoe Galloway received the Maidens Heavy Metal Award. After the game, I spoke with Caledonia's Elise Blakely. Welcome to Ice Maidens, where today I'm catching up with Steel Queens player Elise Blakely. First of all, Elise, thank you for joining me. So that game we just had there before ended in a 7-3 win to Whitley Bay, but it was quite close throughout. Did you enjoy that game?
It was really good. It's one of the closest ones we've had so far, so we're definitely improving every single game. closer and closer.
It really is, yeah. If you look at the first game against Leeds and you say you're competing more, is that just as everyone's getting used to playing with each other and perhaps getting used to the ice rink as well?
Yeah, I think because obviously I train at Murrayfield normally, which is like a lot bigger than this. So you're getting used to the rink and having to jump the boards all the time, and also just getting used to like playing with everyone, because a lot of people on the team at the start of the season, they hadn't played at all, and so just everyone getting used to the game and playing with each other and everything like that.
Yeah, do you enjoy playing here? Because it is very different to Murrayfield, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've only ever played at Murrayfield with mixed team boys, so even just playing with the girls, it's so different, so much better in my opinion. But it's definitely a lot harder, I'd say, because you've got to think a lot quicker. You've not got as much room to move around, and like you've got a puck and suddenly someone's there. You're like, oh, what was I supposed to do? But you get used to it.
You're one of the younger players on the team.
Yes.
In fact, you were playing for the under-16s team against Whitley Bay earlier. So how did that game go for you?
It ended similarly. We did not win, unfortunately, but I think, again, that team is getting so much better. There's a lot of really young players. Like the youngest is like 10, so to have them on and them getting the experience, and you can see everyone improving the more you play with them, and it's really exciting, honestly.
Yeah, I can imagine so. And for the Iron Maidens, it's their first season, of course. So this is a big step for the club, isn't it? And it's very good for younger players like yourself to get that extra ice time.
Yeah, it's really exciting, especially since at a lot of boys' clubs we don't get much ice time, and then you come into like this, and everyone's so willing to like help you learn. Even like the older players, I know I've helped some of the younger ones say like, you could do this next time, and even when I come up to like the Div 2 and all that, they're helping me as well. So everyone's helping everyone improve, and it's really good, honestly.
Well, that's great to hear. And well, we'll see you next week as the teams meet again, this time in Whitley Bay. And thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Sheffield claimed a 5-0 win in the Yorkshire Derby with Leeds Junior Knights. Eva Selassie scored twice, including the opening goal inside the first 5 minutes of the game. Molly Houghton collecting an assist on the play. Shadows then scored twice, 15 seconds apart, towards the end of the second period. Nancy Baker scoring the first from a Selassie assist before the GB under-16 international netted for a second time in the game on the very next attack. Then Libby Foster scored 42 seconds after that from Amy Thomas and Maddie Walker to make it 4-0, completing a scoring burst of 3 goals in less than a minute. Nancy Baker scored her second of the game 65 seconds into the final period, with Lila Jane Smith collecting the assist. Baker collected the Shadows Player of the Game, with Leeds goalie Neve Munro taking home her side's award after facing 46 shots. The Knights youngster continues to go from strength to strength in goal, and her 41-save MVP performance is further proof of that. Leeds debutant Ellie Simpson received the hardest worker hat for her efforts. Chelmsford Rattlesnakes suffered a shock narrow defeat for the first time last weekend at home to a Bristol Puppies side that looked like challenging them for the Southern Division title. The 4-3 result sees the Essex side's winning streak come to an end. Bethan Walden gave Bristol the lead with less than 3 minutes remaining in the second period from Misha McBean's assist. But Chelmsford were back level 53 seconds later thanks to Macy Allen, who scored from Cara Jones. Allen would score again a minute later for Matilda Howell to put the Rattlesnakes in the lead as the sides headed to the second intermission. But Nina Reeves brought the Puppies back level early into the third period from McBean's assist, before the latter registered her third point of the game when setting up Ayla White a couple of minutes later to put Bristol back into the lead. White would score a short-handed marker 90 seconds later to spot her side a 2-goal advantage with less than 9 minutes left to play. Chelmsford did get a goal back inside the final 5 minutes when Allen completed a hat-trick on a power play. However, the Puppies held on for a famous win and now go top of the standings by a single point. However, the Rattlesnakes do have a game in hand. Freya Price earned the Rattlesnakes Player of the Game, while Lilith Wright was awarded the Spirit of the Game. Puppies Player of the Game went to Ayla White, with the Spirit of the Game going to Misha McBean after her hat-trick of assists. The Ice Bees can't be ruled out for a trip to the playoffs either, and made it a 3-horse race at the top of the South standings. Sophia Fajcik scored a hat-trick in the Slough Bay side's 12-0 Mercy Rule win over Midlands Wrekin Raiders. The 12-goal mark was reached before the midpoint of the game. Sophie Kingsbury scored twice, as did Grace Riley and Lara Cannon, with the latter pair also registering assists. Daisy Duval, Laura Sia and Amelia Strachan-Jones also scored, with the last two also getting assists as part of multiple-point games. Malaya Janika and Isabel Farr also came away with a point each from their assists. So that brings this episode to a close for this week. See you all next time. Bye for now.
Please make sure you're following us across all social media platforms
to keep you fully up to date with all things WNIHL.
On Facebook,
follow Ice Maidens, the voice of women's ice hockey,
and check out the website at icemaidens.wordpress.com.
On Instagram and on Twitter.
you can find the podcast
At ZPG Ice Maidens.
and for YouTube,
you can subscribe to Zero Pucks Given.
Please like, follow, share and subscribe.
it all does wonders for spreading the good word
Of the ZPG network.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.